Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, I want to respond to the gentleman from Georgia who comes down here with the same old tired MAGA talking points when it comes to ICE and Homeland Security. He comes down here to confuse people, to somehow imply that Democrats don't want to lock up violent criminals. On the contrary, we do. And that's what we were promised, that the worst of the worst would be pursued and would be held accountable. But that's not what's happening. That is not what is happening. In Minnesota, ICE agents have been intimidating people at hospitals, forcing hospital management to issue protocols for employees on how to best engage. Our doctors and nurses ought to be focused on tending to patients and not dealing with ICE agents. It's despicable. I mean, agents showed up to a Minnesota hospital with a man who immigrated here legally. Just 4 hours after his arrest, he had at least 8 skull fractures. 8! In addition to life-threatening brain hemorrhages. And when people have exercised their First Amendment rights to protest, ICE meets them with only more abuse, beating peaceful protesters and dousing them in pepper spray. And Mr. Speaker, we have all heard by now the horrifying story of Alex Preddy, an innocent American citizen, an intensive care nurse who was brutally murdered by federal agents. This wasn't an isolated incident. The administration has shot 13 people during immigration enforcement operations since September. And I'm going to say again, 13 people have been shot by the Department of Homeland Security. 4 of those shootings were fatal. That's 4 people who would be with us today if not for the insane administration's cruel oppression of our communities. I mean, ICE agents are not protecting our borders, they're ambushing our communities, decimating our families, and taking innocent lives. Mr. Speaker, Republicans nearly tripled ICE's budget last summer with their big, ugly bill. And all that money ought to be clawed back. And as far as the appropriations package before us, again, I refuse to send another cent to Stephen Miller or Kristi Noem. She ought to be impeached, and he ought to be fired immediately. They are undermining our Constitution, and the department that they run is murdering American citizens on the street. We are hearing about young children being kidnapped. We are hearing about off-duty police officers being detained by ICE. We are hearing about ICE going after people because of the color of their skin. I mean, that is what we object to. Yeah, let's go after the criminals. By the way, we're not the party that pardoned all the insurrectionists on January 6th and said that, slate is clean. By the way, those people went on to go on to murder innocent people, to rape women, and to molest children. So there is a difference here. We want to go after the violent criminals, those who have committed terrible crimes. That's what we were promised, and we were lied to. And so we've had it. I reserve my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Georgia.